Welcome to the second day of Muet Clinic webinar, and to all attendees, thank you for taking time out and being here today. And to students especially, please make good use of this session for you to enhance knowledge on extended writing 800/4 task 2. Assalamualaikum and pleasant day. I, Ms. Zanira, will walk you through on how to go about attempting a discursive essay. In this segment, I'll be sharing with you the strategies and the do's and don'ts on how to write a discursive essay. Should you have any questions, please post them in the chat box, and there will be 3 moderators, Ms. Pun Phung Ha, Ms. Aziani Mestar, and Ms. Siti Rohaiza Jasman, who would be answering to your questions. As been mentioned earlier, this is about task 2, extended writing, or familiarly known as essay. And there are 3 types of essays that you have to deal with in the exam. The first type would be discursive essay. The second one, argumentative. And the third type of essay would be problem solution. And you do not know the type of essay that you have to write in the exam next month. Let me walk you through on how to go about writing a discursive essay. Most students have been mistaken that this essay is similar to an expository essay or a factual essay. But for Muet, a discursive essay is the type in which you still have to make a stance. But what kind of stand that you can make? Hence, due to that, I will first highlight the differences between a discursive essay and an argumentative essay, because these 2 types of essays will require you to make up your mind or to take a stance accordingly. A discursive essay, it is more of a balanced discussion. Or in other words, you have to take the middle path. Yeah, you have to take the middle path or the neutral ground. Yeah, you cannot be biased. It means to say you have to present both viewpoints. While for argumentative essays, you have to adopt only one point of view. It is either to agree or disagree. Yeah, but okay, in terms of the similarities of the 2, yeah, the concept is still the same. Yeah, the aim is still the same. Yeah, to convince or to persuade your readers. Therefore, your essay has to be convincing. The voice has to be clear and convincing. Yeah, we call it the voice of the essay. While the second similarity is on investigating and analyzing normally a controversial topic or issue. Yeah, a topic which is debated, which is open to a debate. So that is normally the type of topic that you would be normally dealing with when it comes to a discursive and argumentative essays. And finally, the structure. Both of these essays share the same type essay structure or essay convention. Or in other words, the mechanics of writings is the same. So next, it will bring us to what are the elements that you have to have in the essay. Yeah, in the introduction, in the body part of the essay, and in the conclusion. Introduction. You have to have the lead-in. Lead-in is the introduction to the topic. You have to introduce the topic to the reader and try to make it as interesting, as attractive as possible. And don't forget to state your stand. So in this situation, in this type of essay, discursive, you have to go by a mixed stand or agree to a certain extent. And then you have to clearly write your thesis statement. What is a thesis statement? We will have that in the next slide. It's very important. Without a thesis statement, your essay is going to be very loose. Because thesis statement is the controlling idea of the whole essay, or it is the backbone of the essay. In order for you to get a higher band, you have to have a thesis statement. So for the introduction, try not to make it so long-winded. I give this acronym, KISS. Keep it short and simple. However, for candidates who have the language, who of a high proficiency level, you can write more, but not to the extent of it being so elaborative that it has lost the essence. It is sufficient for you to convey the ideas, what the essay is about, to show your understanding to the examiner what your essay is all about. Next, we come to the body part of the essay. Please introduce your main idea by a cohesive device or a linker. So that particular structure is what we call topic sentence. It expresses the main idea of the paragraph. And then it is followed by the details of your discussion. The details will come in the form of examples, and then explain the examples, elaborate effectively, and don't forget to sum up. This makes up the body part of the paragraph. And for this one, you can elaborate as much as you want. And you can observe this acronym, Hawaii, how and why, together with example, are expected to be there in order to get a good band or a higher band. How and why have to be there. Explain in detail. I will explain in the next slide, on how you are to develop your ideas. Next, conclusion. Conclusion. Don't forget again to introduce the conclusion by the use of a linker or any cohesive device that is appropriate. And then you can write your summary in the conclusion. This summary will be none other than your thesis statement. You can repeat the same exact thesis statement that you have had in the introductory paragraph in the conclusion. And don't forget to reiterate, to reaffirm, to restate your stand. If you agree to a certain extent, make sure in the conclusion you have to retain the same stand. You make sure you sustain the same idea. In the conclusion, you can provide recommendations or suggestions, overall overview or outlook, of the topic, any way you wish to conclude your essay. But then again, don't make it so long-winded. Observe keys again. Keep it short and simple. And then, gentle reminder, to students who have the language, you can expand it a bit if you wish, but do not overdo it. Moving on to the next slide, let me take you through the actual Muet paper, Session 2, 2021, the most recent paper. So as you can see, Task 2, 60 marks. And this is the question. You are advised to spend about 50 minutes on this task. As been mentioned earlier, you are given only 50 minutes to complete the essay. Please make sure you abide by the time limit given. Okay, this is the instruction. You watch a documentary on the effect of global pandemic. The following comment was made at the end of the show. The following comment was made by the guest speaker. We become stronger when we are faced with difficult times in life. And you are to write an essay expressing your opinion on the statement. Write at least 250 words. Yeah, as you can see, expressing your opinion. So this clause or this phrase will be the clue for you to either go by an argumentative essay or a discursive essay. So if it's a discursive essay, you are to take a middle path or a mixed stand and write at least 250 words. This is the minimum requirement, meaning to say you can write beyond 250 words, you can exceed 250 words. You are not going to be penalized if you write more than that. Instead, if you write lesser than 250 words, it will be of a self-penalty. Yeah, if it's like lesser than 250 words, it means to say your essay is not beefy enough or it's not well substantiated. So this is the situation, yeah, what I have read out to you. So this is the situation or the context, yeah, all right, given to you, yeah, as a guideline. But you don't have to necessarily use this as an example. Yeah, when I say use this as an example, use the example of global pandemic or COVID-19, okay, as the one and only example that you will be used, to discuss your point or to elaborate your ideas. You can use other examples, yeah, along the same line. And this is the actual topic that you have to write about. We become stronger when we are faced with difficult times in life. Now let us take a look at how to understand and analyze the task. That will be step 1. The very first thing that you have to do before drafting the essay. Okay, first off, you have to address the keywords. Yeah, the keywords given in the title or the topic. So in this case, the topic that you have to deal with is we become stronger when we are faced with difficult times in life. Yeah, so as you can see here in the topic, there are 2 key words, yeah, that will help you to develop your essay. That will be become stronger, that is keyword 1. And the second keyword 2, would be faced with difficult times. Yeah, so the 2 keywords have to be addressed. Yeah, and you have to answer this question on how one becomes stronger when they are faced with such struggles or difficulties in life. Okay, so in the process of elaborating, you have to provide the reasons. You have to give the reasons of why, okay, why has one become stronger when they are facing difficulties in life. Yeah, they have to give reason. Now, what has caused them, okay, to be stronger? All right. So not only that, so in order for you to justify your ideas, you have to provide example. Yeah. So examples would be in terms of the difficult times. Yeah. You have to provide the example of difficult times in life, and then not only providing it, but you also have to explain it. Yeah. So for each content paragraph, you are to only give one example. Yeah, preferably one example and elaborate on the example given. So when you elaborate the example given, that is when you are answering the question on how. Yeah, so once you have the why and how, then you have attempted the question accordingly. Yeah, because in the process, you are in a way relating the two ideas. Yeah, you are relating it or you are linking it. In order to in order to answer the question. All right, next, you have to take note of the keywords. Yeah, the keywords cannot be changed. Yeah, you have to stick to it. Yeah, whatever that is given to you, that is what you have to fulfill. You cannot change, such as difficult times, yeah, is substituted with difficult people. Or perhaps you change it in such a way we become stronger when we have a lot of money. So that is in replacement of the word difficult times. So one that happens, there will be an off tangent essay because you do not address the task. So off tangent essay, you will get only band 1 or band 2 or CEFR level A1 or A2. Okay, next one, yeah. Include a clear stand or viewpoint. So in this case, a discursive essay, you are to go for the mixed stance, yeah. Agree to a certain extent or partially agree to it. Because like I said, you cannot be biased. You have to present both viewpoints. That is the stand that you have to take up. And the next one, you have to offer 2 to 3 points to be discussed. But let me tell you, yeah, for your exam, all right, I would highly advise you to go for 3 points. Yeah, 3 points. So all in all, it's a 5 paragraph essay. Okay, like the example that I had given earlier. Yeah, 2 points can also be accepted provided the points, the ideas are very well developed or you don't stand a chance to get a higher band. Okay, so a 5 paragraph essay would be ideal for you to observe in the writing of your essay. And this one, highlighted in red, you have to show maturity of thought because you are now a pre-university student, post-secondary or pre-university student. So the elements of maturity, have to be there, in how you write your essay, the type of example given in the essay, and on how you convince your reader, to show whether you are a knowledgeable person or you are a well-read person, because those are among the elements that we are observing in order for us to gauge whether you are a mature writer or otherwise. Now let us see on how you can structure your introduction. The introductory paragraph, as been mentioned earlier, you have to try to make it attractive and interesting. And there are many ways or strategies for you to structure your introductory paragraph. The lead in, we call it the lead in, leading the readers into your topic or your essay. So here the topic is we become stronger when we are faced with difficult times in life. We go back to the keywords. Now please mention the 2 keywords. Please address the 2 keywords in your introductory paragraph. Okay? All right. So the first method, perhaps, you can go by a general statement or general statements related to the topic. So in this case, you can give the scenario of difficult times. You can give the significance of being a stronger person. And it's good actually. So when you talk about difficult times and stronger person, being a stronger person, or becoming stronger in your introduction or in your lead-in, it's good for you to link the two. Show to the examiner that you've understood the task. Or here, that brings us to the next statement, the explanation of difficult times and its connection with being stronger, and so on and so forth. So that would be the very first method for you to start off your essay or the lead in. Or you can go by yeah, a rhetorical question or rhetorical questions. Yeah, rhetorical questions is a form of a question. But if you want to go by this, please, okay, maximum would be 3. Yeah, would be 3. Don't go beyond that. Yeah, it's good if you can only have 2 questions asked or posed in the lead in, yeah, in the introductory paragraph. Don't overdo it. Yeah, don't have so many questions. Yeah. So what is the example of the rhetorical question? Do difficult situations define who you are? Huh? That's the rhetorical question, and you can have another one. Yeah, but don't have up to 4 or 5 rhetorical questions. Yeah, 2 would be ideal. And yeah, the next method that you can adopt would be a definition. You may give a definition to the keywords given in the topic. So in this case, yeah, example given, yeah, difficult times, yeah, okay, become stronger in difficult times, yeah. So here, resilience is the ability to withstand adversity and bounce back from difficult life events. You can see how this is translated into a description on how difficult times, okay, shapes a person. Okay, on how it makes one become stronger, something like that. But this is not only a one-liner lead in. So this is just an example. You can elaborate a bit more, okay, a bit more. So make sure, even though your introductory paragraph is simple, but at the same time it is captivating, yeah, captivating and interesting, yeah. It can attract the examiner's attention, yeah, to read, to further read your essay, yeah, and to form some kind of an idea that you are a good writer, yeah, because you have the knowledge. Or perhaps you can go by the next method, yeah, by sharing a quote or quotation, such as, we must accept finite disappointment, but we must never lose infinite hope. Yeah, this is a quote given by Martin Luther King. Yeah, so if you have such knowledge, please feel free to experiment with a quote, provided the quote or quotation is related to the topic given. And finally, yeah, you can also go by this approach, yeah, an excerpt of news report or a research or a case study, yeah, such as the lockdown started, newspapers, yeah, had reported an increase of 50% in the number of suicide cases and attempted suicide. Okay, so I've given you quite a number of approaches for you to adopt or to adapt, okay, in the process of writing your introducing your topic to the reader. Next, let us move on to the next element, important element in the introductory paragraph. That would be the stand and the thesis statement. Yeah, okay. So the thesis statement, it is the controlling idea or the summary of the main ideas of the essay. And for this, I will give 2 examples. Yeah, 2 examples based on 2 different topics. Yeah. So the first topic, everyone should become a millionaire by the age of 35. What is your opinion? Right. So when it comes to the stand and thesis statement, and if you are to partially agree, yeah, remember this again is a discursive essay, yeah, okay, so this is how you structure it. I agree to a certain extent as to why everyone should become a millionaire at a young age, because it can drive someone to strive harder and help to contribute in the development of a nation. However, it can also bring about the situation that can make one to disregard other significant matters in life. Here you can see the stand is clearly stated, yeah, on how you agree to a certain extent. So when you agree to a certain extent, all right, so in it itself, you can see that you are presenting two different viewpoints. Two different viewpoints. Hence, yeah, okay, it is expected for us to see in your thesis statement that you have the two different viewpoints, okay, clearly stated in your thesis statement. So here, okay, the one in boldface, in red boldface, it can drive someone to strive harder. Okay, that's the first viewpoint. That is about agreement or agreeing to the motion given. Yeah, about how one should become a millionaire at a young age. So that is to agree to the topic given. And then comes how to contribute in the development of a nation. That is the second point, also in agreement to the topic given. Then you can see this linker, yeah. However, that is to show contrast, yeah, to show contrast, the other side of the coin. It can also bring about the situation that can make one to disregard other significant matters in life. So here you can see this is the other viewpoint given in the thesis statement. So this is how you are to structure your thesis statement accordingly. So when it comes to a discursive essay, all right, the most effective way for you to write your thesis statement would be a specific thesis statement because that will make it clearer to the examiner. Don't go by a general thesis statement. Okay, I will come to that example later on. All right, next. So you can see here, stand mixed. So you have, okay, the stand, all right, put together with the thesis statement. You can also separate the stand, yeah, in another sentence. And only after that, you structure another one for the thesis statement. That is also possible. Okay, the next example given here, okay, these are all partial questions, yeah, Muet partial questions. Failure makes one a better person. What is your opinion? Okay, so how do you write the thesis statement? Yeah, so just now you can see the 3 points, yeah, stipulated in this thesis statement. So what about this one? In the relentless pursuit of one's dreams and ambitions, failure is a healthy part and parcel in a person's life to improve and mold oneself to be the best version of him or her. Okay, full stop. On the other hand, if it is not done wisely, it can break one's spirit. Okay, so here you can see another specific thesis statement. Yeah, so it's about failure makes one a better person. So you can see how these two keywords, failure and better person, have been addressed in the introductory paragraph. Yeah, and also in the structure of the thesis statement. In the structuring of the thesis statement, you can see, yeah, this one again highlighted in red. Okay, on how it is to improve one, the first point, and mold oneself to be the best version of him or her. So there are 2 points, positive points here. Okay, we need to say positive viewpoints pertaining to the topic. And then on the other hand, now you can see this cohesive device, this linker, yeah, to show the opposite idea. Yeah, if it is not done wisely, it can break one's spirit. So here you can see, okay, how he has kept to his promise because, okay, promise meaning to say you cannot clearly see the stand made here. All right, so here this is what we call implied stand or implied stand, but in this implied stand, you can see it is of a mixed idea, mixed opinion. Yeah, you can see, this is about how it can lead to positivity, improve, and then to mold oneself, all right, to be the best version. Okay, whereas at the same time, it can also break one's spirit. So here embedded. So we also acknowledge this, what we call implied stand. But, okay, all right, a gentle reminder, a piece of advice from me. If you are not an expert, all right, if you do not have the language, do not settle for this type of structure, or you will only be trapping yourselves. Yeah. So why don't you go by this standard, very academically written. Stand first, then only then followed by the thesis statement. Okay, now let us go to the next important element in the content paragraph. Okay, this is regarding a topic sentence, and you are going to have 3 content paragraphs altogether. Hence, it is expected of you to write 3 topic sentences. What is a topic sentence? Yeah, it is the summary of a content paragraph. So in short, it is about what that particular paragraph is revolving around. So everything will be summarized in this topic sentence. All right. Or in other words, it is the main idea that is structured in a complete sentence. It has to be written in a complete sentence, not a phrase, not a fragment. I'm using the same examples again. The first one regarding everyone should become a millionaire by the age of 35. So here is the example. However, great power comes with great responsibilities. And this means that in the process of one climbing higher on the corporate ladder, one could easily disregard things that are most important in life. Okay, so this is the example of a topic sentence for a paragraph. Yeah, and as you can see here, the cohesive device used. However, this is to show contrast, a contradicting idea. Yeah, perhaps before this, there are the 2 paragraphs. Yeah, it is on agreement of the topic given, while the last paragraph is okay, of a different viewpoint. Yeah, the opposite viewpoint. So you have to use the appropriate linker or cohesive device. Yeah, and the one in right here, you can see this is the main idea, which has been properly structured, okay, in a sentence, in a proper sentence. Could easily disregard things that are very important in life. Okay, now what about the second example? Failure makes one a better person. Here goes. Apart from that, if you could recall, yeah, the example of thesis statement that I had given, yeah, before this, you could see that one of it is about to improve and to mold a person into a much better version of himself or herself. So here, apart from that, failure also motivates a person to strive for bigger things in life and dream higher. It shares the same idea. Yeah, it shares the same idea. Okay, so this is the topic sentence, and you can see the cohesive device used there is apart from that. Okay, this is when you are showing another idea which is which is similar with the previous idea. Firstly and secondly, or you can go by apart from that. Okay. All right. And what about the main idea? This is the main idea about motivating a person on how it can improve a person, molding a person into somebody who is okay, better. All right. Now let us look at the next slide, which is on a short exercise. Spot the errors. Yeah, I have explained to you the do's and the don'ts, and I've given you the examples, and let us see whether you managed to digest the information given earlier. This is pertaining to the stand and thesis statement. I partially agree that everyone should become a millionaire by the age of 35 due to several reasons. So what do you think? Is this a good thesis statement? You can do it, you can answer it on your own. The answer is no. Why no? As I mentioned earlier, this is a discursive essay. Okay, you partially agree to the motion given. Yeah, therefore we expect to see points which are in agreement and another point which is in disagreement or vice versa. It doesn't matter, yeah, how many points are okay on agreement and how many points on disagreement. It can be two agreeing, one disagreeing, or it can be one agreeing or two disagreeing. It does not matter. Yeah. So here this is wrong. Why? Because of the several reasons. It is vague or unclear. So we don't know which is which reasons. What reasons? To go for or to go against it? We do not know. So please, for a discursive essay, so do not settle for a general thesis statement. Next example. I agree to a certain extent that failure makes a better person. What is this? Yes, as a stand, this is good enough, good to go. Yeah, but for a thesis statement, no, because most candidates, most students, yeah, when they write the essay in the introductory paragraph, they will always write like this. Yeah, they just write like this and they expect it, and then they assume that this is also a thesis statement. This is not a thesis statement. This is only a stand given. Only a stand given or made, no thesis statement. Please remember, after, okay, if you separate the stand and the thesis statement, so it's okay, no problem. You write the stand first, then please, yeah, write your thesis statement after that. Thesis statement is very important for you to, in order for you to get a good band. And the last example, yeah, I have a mixed opinion on how failure makes one a better person. And those are in terms of one being wiser, stronger, and humble. Okay, so what is this? This again is a no-no. Yeah, this is also wrong. Why is it wrong? Because you have already committed yourself to a mixed opinion, mixed stand. So we expect to see, yeah, the combination of agreement and disagreement in your thesis statement. But you fail to observe that. So wiser, stronger, and humble, all three conveys the positive ideas, yeah, or positive viewpoint. That is why it is not it's not the correct way for you to write your thesis statement. It does not reflect on the stand made. On to my next slide. I am sharing with you a sample of an essay. And to start off, here is the introductory paragraph. It is still on the same topic. We become stronger when we are faced with difficult times in life. So here is the introduction. And as you can see, the lead-in is highlighted in red. So this is a very creative writer because you can see, yeah, he has combined two different methods in his lead-in: analogy and rhetorical questions. The analogy here is a comparison between two things, two items, diamond and graphite. Right? And then slowly but surely going into rhetorical questions here. What differentiates the two? A human example wouldn't be very far off now, would it? And continuing on before he gets to his claim or opinion or stand. And before he comes to his actual opinion, there's another rhetorical question given here. This begs the question, do we become stronger when we are faced with difficult times in life? Then only then he has his statement, yeah, his opinion, his stand. I agree to a certain extent, since difficult times creates a need and will to improve, as well as gives an individual a lot of experience, but the outcome of it is dependent on one's character. Before I go to the discussion of the content paragraph, I would like to highlight the elements that you should have in a content paragraph, or in other words, the mechanics of writing. And for this, you can observe the T3EC format. Actually, there are variety of formats that you can go by with. It does not matter. So long as the elements are in your discussion, in the elaboration of the ideas, it should be okay. So what you should have in a content paragraph, first topic sentence, yeah, it is the summary of that particular paragraph, what the paragraph is all about. It is summarized in the topic sentence. It has to be clear and concise. Next would be the elaboration of the point. Remember, 1 point, 1 paragraph. Elaborate the point, supported with details, yeah, facts, justifications, and don't forget to provide examples. And the examples given with the explanation. So that would be answering the question of why and how. And the how would normally be seen when you explain the example in your discussion. And finally, you will sum up your discussion. That will be in the form of a concluding sentence. Yeah, this concluding sentence can be the repeat. Yeah, can be the restatement of the topic sentence. And the meaning markers or the cohesive device that you can use for your concluding sentence. For instance, to sum up, in brief, to conclude, and so on and so forth. This is the very first content paragraph. And as you can see here, the signal word is used to introduce the first point, first and foremost. Difficult times creates a need and will for those who are facing hardships to want to improve their lives. That is the topic sentence. And next is the elaboration on it. It starts off with this is because. So this is a clear indicator that this candidate is giving the reason or the why. Yeah, this is the elaboration on the reason, and then it's supported by an example, ancient Egypt. Yeah, not only giving the example, but there is an explanation on the example given, and that is answering the how. And then you can see another linker used here, another signal word. Therefore, this is to signal the concluding sentence. You can come up with your own, you can come up with a different concluding sentence, or like I said earlier, you can repeat the topic sentence that you had, yeah, at the beginning of the paragraph. This is the second point, using the same concept and principle, yeah, the T3EC format. Yeah, you can see the mechanics of writing is observed in this second content paragraph. Signal word is given. Now, to add on to the idea that had been presented on the agreement, on to my next point, and then comes the topic sentence, and next the elaboration. And in the elaboration, there is the why, yeah, here, and later on the example given, that is to explain on the how. And finally, there's the summing up. And the signal word used here is therefore. And this is the concluding sentence. The last point, point 3. As you can see here, it is introduced by however. So however indicates that this is the opposing viewpoint. Now using the appropriate linker to introduce idea that is of contrast with the previous two, and then followed by a topic sentence. Then comes the explanation on the why and the how. But for this one, as you can see, the example is given first, and then the explanation on the example given. So answering the how first, then only then followed by the why. It does not matter. It depends on the writer's style and creativity. And you can see signal word here, to sum up. Yeah, to sum up, that is to conclude the discussion. This is a concluding sentence. Moving on to the last part, the conclusion. So this is the conclusion, and as you can see, the thesis statement is reiterated in this conclusion. Yeah, it is reiterated or reaffirmed. It is stated again in the conclusion, and then not only that, all right, the stand too has been highlighted. Yeah, the stand has been reaffirmed by without any doubt. I partially agree. As sometimes during the difficult times, we are anything but strong, and it will forever be etched in our hearts as a dark memory. Nicely put. Yeah, and he then again gave the example of diamond and graphite. Yeah, and it is beautifully concluded by a rhetorical question. At the end of the day, the question is, do you want to be like the graphite or the diamonds? Yeah, so it shows that this is a very well-read person and has the sense of maturity. That will be all from me. Before I wrap up the presentation, I really hope that the information imparted will be useful and you can use it to attempt the essay question, task 2. Try your best, and I'm wishing you the best of luck and for everyone to get a good band. With that, thank you very much.